subscribe, or you will rest in peace. Okay, people. So we're gonna start off with I am kind of appalled as to this type of information that has just been surfaced by Shinya, or LOL Shinya. Now, he did post a video uh regarding his thoughts about this whole contract situation. Now, let me be clear about all this. Neither he or I are lawyers in any kind of way. He has more insight into contracts than I do, and he pretty much said that the entire focus of this entire thing is the letter E up at the very top. Okay, there's some wording in there that is very questionable. And if you take a look at this, it's kind of worrisome. It is very worrisome. In my entire 20 plus years in the gaming sphere, I have never heard of any gaming company with, and I even watched the YouTuber Young Ya. So I'll put his face on the board for you right now, so you guys know what I'm talking about. So Yang Ya is a very big gaming news journalist YouTuber, and even from him, I have not even seen any kind of contractual debacles as bad as this. I mean, we know about Rockstar Games, we know about Blizzard Entertainment, we know about what is it called? Naughty Dog. I think Naughty Dog was in there too. Square Enix was in some controversies too, but nothing related to content creators and contracts, as far as I'm well aware of. So, and this guy has been dealing. This guy Shinya has been dealing with contracts for the longest while. So, you could take his knowledge as more gospel than mine. But yeah, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this, because even though Shinya has a some insight on contracts, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into this, because this goes beyond this contract. This is gonna go. let me show you something over here. Okay, this is a YouTuber called China Insider. Okay, this guy pretty much tells you, what the hell is going on in China. That makes China very cringe. Now, if you take a look at his videos, there's a lot of things in what's going on in China that he explains that is completely immoral, completely wrong, and is exactly pretty much what Hoyoverse is doing. For those of you who don't know, okay, there is a thing called a social credit system in China. So what it is that it basically means you have to be, it's not as egregious as North Korea, as far as like, oh, happy, we like our dictator and stuff like that. No, it's not as egregious as as North Korea, but it is pretty far up there. In case you don't know what's going on with the whole like debacle with the with people getting locked up in their homes with reverse deadbolts and barriers and stuff like that. There was even a fire in one apartment complex and like 10 people died in there because of the mismanagement of the virus that has been plaguing the entire world because of this country. The social credit score, meaning that, okay, you do something good in China, you do exceptionally well in China, and you get certain, you know, scores, which means you get to like withdraw money, you get to purchase a car, you get to buy, you know, specialty groceries, and the lower your social credit score, the less you would get as far as favoritism from, you know, marketplaces, auto shops, anything of that nature. So, and to put it simply, this guy also showed that they show bulletin boards with what is it called? Their identification, their driver's licenses on the bulletin boards on freeways to shame people. While drivers are driving on the freeway, not only as a message that saying, "Oh, we're watching you. We get to punish all the people that are not doing so good," but also that there's so much psychological trauma that these people go through in China. It's completely insane. And I want to point out something from you as far as the gotcha revenue system, okay? Because what this guy has said is that the what is it called, the housing market, okay, with the GDP and stuff like that. I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit, so you go to this guy's channel and he could explain it better than I can. But essentially, what's happening is that there's a lot of towers, there's a lot of cities being built, but all of them are ghost towns. Okay, there's no financial, what is it called? Financial intervention like we do have in the U.S., which regulates, you know, what kind of money goes in, what kind of money gets out. It keeps track of all the money so that we don't overinflate on our dollar and stuff like that. They have no system like we do here in the US, okay, as far as keeping track of money. So it essentially, what happens is that in order to gain recognition, in order to gain more popularity or profits for, you know, Chinese officials, and a lot of this stuff is, if we do any of the stuff that China is doing, I guarantee you half of the United States would be in prison right now. But what's happening is that the in order to get like loans and stuff like that from the government, they have to increase the revenue or inflate the GDP in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so that type of financial mentality actually transfers to what happened in this month's gotcha revenue. Now, I can tell you straight off the bat, these numbers are not real. Remember a few months back when Xian Yun's banner was first released, and there was an odd amount of revenue generated? I mean, truly, it was an odd amount of revenue generated. So what's going to happen is that manipulation. I wouldn't be surprised if if Hoyoverse ended up paying their own game in order to inflate the numbers, because that's exactly what they do in their real estate industry in China. They pay their own bills. They waste their own money just to try to inflate the GDP, which in the United States would be completely illegal. So, looking at that revenue chart in Xian Yun's banner, which is Cloud Retainer's banner, and looking at China's revenue as it is right now, because people are saying that, you know, ooh, Genshin Impact is making a lot of money in China. Honkai Star Rail is making a lot of money in China. No, these numbers, they are fake as fuck. These numbers are not real. In fact, I can tell you right now, right off the rip, the Genshin and Honkai Star Rail revenue global is much more accurate than the Chinese numbers. Why? so they can take out loans and they can get more financially secured from China. Okay. Now, if in case you don't really realize, is that the the CCP has got a stranglehold on these people, probably, most likely. Uh, so they are under a extreme scrutiny from China right now as far as like the social credit score. So if these people don't have extreme revenue in China, essentially what's going to end up happening is that the CCP is going to essentially shut down Hoyoverse as a whole. So let me give you a little bit of context here, okay? The second that the revenue looks like it's going to fall down, and this is why the contract is even existing, okay? This is why the contract even exists in the first place. The way that the wording is that they're trying not to die. They're trying not to get shut down by the CCP, by the government, by fudging the numbers like this. This 882,000 that you see from Genshin Impact is not indicative of what's going on in China. This is not real numbers, people. Okay? They make fake Porsches in China. Okay? They literally copy-pasted an actual Porsche in China. I forgot, it's one of those EV cars, whatever it is, okay? Those things, they last only 10 miles until they quite literally, and I'm not exaggerating here, those cars quite literally explode. In the middle of a freeway. And I think several people have died because the doors wouldn't even open. And some other shenanigans. So an entire family died in one of China's cars. But China tries to cover it up because, because of how their culture of, shame and stuff like that, and honor and whatnot. Which is, I get the whole shame part. I get it. But if you put people's lives at risk just because of, your culture, not your faith. The faith is like different. That's like going to religion. I'm not going to be messing with that one. Religion is religion, okay? But faith in your country, okay, to this level is completely insane. Okay? So like I said before, I know they have offices in San Francisco, and I know they have an office in Singapore. But at any point in time, if Wuthering Waves decides to yoink the audience, and this revenue goes from 82 million and 66 million all the way down to 3 million, the CCP will essentially kill off Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. Straight up. Straight up. So, at this point in time, it seems like Hoyoverse only has 2 weeks before it dies as a whole. So, Genshin is going to die. It's going to EOS. Honkai Star Rail is going to potentially EOS if they don't keep these numbers high after Wuthering Waves' release. So, they're finally releasing Endgame in Genshin Impact. But from what I've heard through the grapevine, it's a endgame content that is geared to whales. You know what the crazy thing about this is that I found out earlier that people in who are what is it called, law enforcement, no more than 2 people can actually end up law enforcement with the same uniform cannot coexist on the same, as a group of 4 people in the same freeway, right? So authorities would see, okay, there's 4 police officers or guards in the same uniform. You can't have the same uniform. You know how much the fine is? Like about $5,000. $5,000. I could be a little bit off on that one, but it's ridiculous for having four people with the same uniform. Yeah. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is when Wuthering Waves and Azure Promelia and all those games from like Korea or Singapore or anything else outside of China decides to release and trumps Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. Oh boy, you Genshin Sims are going to have a field day because China just killed your game. And I'm not talking about Hoyoverse killing the game. I'm talking about China, the government, kills Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. Completely. Blowing out of the face of the earth. So, yeah, guys, that's it for this video. For all you Genshin stands out there and Honkai Rail, Star Rail stands, you know, you are on thin ice right now. At any, like I said before, at any point in time, the CCP would just yoink Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. For sure. It would just yoink it. So, have fun for the next, I guess, 3 months. I give it about 3 months. And we'll really see what the hell is going on. After Wuthering Waves gets released, we will see the revenue just plummet. And we'll see if it'll recover from that plummet. And we'll also see if they manipulate the numbers as well. So, request que te pache. I just can't stop laughing because all these Genshin freaks are just gonna be crying. Bye!